everybody in the live world. Can you see me? Can you hear me? And of course, from Canada, crackling in my ears is Judy. Hello, Judy.
Hello, John. Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear us okay tonight.
We got to get the replies, Judy, to make sure they can hear us and see us. And that's our normal status. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right on. I gotcha, finally.
We'll wait till people climb aboard. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for coming in. We both sound great. This sounds great, so I hope it's all of us, me and Judy. Loud and clear, Becky Gilmore. And Starlene. We can hear you both. We're okay to go, Judy. We're all clear.
Good.
Thank you, members.
I can breathe.
Thank you, members, for helping us out. Every podcast we have, thank you so much. I was telling Judy earlier, before we get into the roll of things, because of my bad back and nerve, I always got to maybe take a hot shower just before I come on. And I'm in the shower, and for some reason today, out of all days, I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing? There's nobody in the house. There's nobody calling. I'm not going out anywhere. And I'm going, what the heck am I getting ready for? Putting the gel in the hair, make sure my shirt is ironed, make sure I got a shave on. And I'm going, you know what? You guys give me this positive vibe that goes through my body. And you know what? I thank each one of you, because that's what keeps me going. And I hope I keep you guys going. But for tonight, for some reason, I felt the power of our group going through my soul. Now, does that sound weird or what, Judy?
No, that sounds right on, John, because that's what's keeping me going right now. I get it.
It's like, what the heck am I getting ready for? You know, I'm by myself. I get my shirts on, I get my shoes on. I'm getting ready for you guys. All 71,500, 600 of you or whatever. And
we thank you.
I thank you guys also, Judy, because it's just unbelievable what this group has done and how it's growing.
It sure is.
And of course, before we start the big hoo-ha, I want to thank Jennifer for joining and being a Templar soldier the other day. I thank her so much. She's a new mention for tonight. And my regular captains, commanders, and grandmaster are as follows: Michelle, Mike, Tammy, Annette, Elizabeth, Annette, Jazdia, Wayne, Starlene, and Renee. I don't mention their last names unless they want me to mention it. And also for Judy and Barbara and Daniel and Mike for all the extra support you give me on a daily basis. I thank you so much. And Judy, because you're live, I can tell you right over the phone. I thank you so much.
Well, John, it's my honor and pleasure to do so.
I mean, it's been all year long. And I also got to thank Barbara for my own personal coaster, Judy, that I have my mug on my coaster right here on the table with the mug and the coaster. I got it all. What else can I ask for? You know what I mean?
You got it. And she did a great job, didn't she?
Yep. Then on the YouTube side, hello, Michael, Becky Gilmore, Playground Justice, Annette, Cindy, Barbara, and Barbara. As people still pile in. But, yeah, I always do that in the beginning because that's how much I appreciate you guys. You got to give out the shout outs, Judy. You know, that extra shout out for the people giving out the extra effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it means a lot, John.
Yep. And here goes my soldiers. And they always help out. I mean, it's only 75 cents a week. But if we can build up them numbers, they have a lot of people and then we can get going. You know what I mean, Judy?
You got her.
So we got on the soldier side, we got Michael. We got Michelle. We got Scott. We got Dana. We got Josh. We got Virginia. We got Jean. We got Cindy. We got Roxy. And we have Becky. I thank you so much for your support. Very, very good. Very good. Very good. So I hope everybody had a good week. I hope, Judy, everybody stopped crying by Saturday.
Well, I watched it again and I cried again. So probably every time I see it.
And we got Chris, the Star Mandona, in the house. Glad to see you on the last show of the season 8 for the Curse of Oak Island. But there was a lot of crying, Judy. There's a lot of crying in my group. And boy, does Rick get to me also.
Oh, he did. And Rick always, but this year in particular, looked very tired and ready for a rest.
Yep.
And it means a lot to him, too. So.
Yep. And how he says the treasure's not in coinage and expendables. I love it when he says the treasure, like I tell you, my treasure is my group and my members. His treasure, how he points it out, is look at all the history and the people it has helped. Just the island itself, like they say, the girls want to be like Vanessa. People want to go metal detecting. People want to get into other kinds of trades that they show. There's the love of the show right there. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right on, John. I will never regret this journey because of the people I've met, and you and this group is part of that.
Yep. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Michelle.
And Jenny getting inky with it. I'm always early, Jenny. Like I told Judy, if I'm late past 7 o'clock, that means the power went out or the internet's having problems, because I try to check everything out, but you never know. When you go live and you see me as you see me, you actually get what gets. Does that make sense? Get what gets? Uh-oh, no English teacher.
Yes. That'll work.
Gets what gets. Oh, my God, I'm going wild. And there's the professor, Daniel Spino.
Hi, Daniel.
And his posts are just over the top. I hope you guys are reading them. I mean, my brain can only take so much information. I'm ready to bust myself because of my retention is hard. And that's why we're mostly fan-based here. And when Daniel makes it so simple to read and understand, that's what I like. We're not out in outer space on these explanations. We're learning, Judy. We're learning by the minute here.
We are, for sure. And it's great fun.
Yep. And I also have a person on YouTube that we've been chatting with. His channel is dot to dot. And he's more on the Xena's map, going into the coordinates and the maps and the lines. So I'm not into that, as you see. So I thought he would be a great add-on on the side. I mean, his theory is different than other theories, but that's beside the point. His information is different than my information. And the whole thing of this group is to pull everybody's information together to get this history solved. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, right on.
So when he's doing all his lines and angles and all that, you don't see me doing that, because there's no way. All I do right here is turn on the on button, make sure I got gel in my hair, and start mumbling, you know?
Okay, John. Oh, I don't know. You do a pretty good job.
So, give him a look out. It's called Dot to Dot. And what else I wanted to say here? Also remember, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, my friend Jake Roberts has a podcast going on at the Ghost of Bacon. If you're not, or later on Mother's Day tomorrow, give him a click, see what he's got to say. It's Jake Roberts at the Ghost of Bacon on YouTube or his Facebook site. 7 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Time. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with my friend Jake the Snake Roberts. I just love these wrestling names, you know, Judy?
Yeah, you're having fun with that, aren't you?
I also want to thank Shane Ross for joining my group. He's the senior editor of the show, The Curse of Oak Island, this year. And he's the one that does all these Lego posts of the scenes. Shane, I thank you so much for joining my group. And I hope you stay with me throughout the summer and for hopefully a next season, which I haven't had official word. The only thing that would screw that up is a contract dispute or something. But as far as I know, until History Channel tells us, Judy, I have no idea if there's a season 9.
Right, exactly. We can only hope, for sure.
This Cindy Monroe, boy, she keeps right on me. You know what she said?
I'm looking at it.
See, you can be thankful I have hair. You guys.
How many men would like to, John?
I know all my friends are bald. They're all bald. So they grow, and they all grow beards, and they're all bald. I got nothing against baldness. I don't shame anybody, but I'm just saying, hair, I got hair. You know,
You're lucky.
My grandmother at 90 years old still had hair. And
Jeez.
Here comes Tony Sampson in the house. Hello, Tony. Glad you can make it.
Hi, Tony.
So I wanted to thank Shane Ross for all his Lego posts, Judy.
That's been fun to look at. Really has.
It's just something different. You know what I mean? I just love my group that has always something different, you know?
Exactly. Never know what I'm going to find when I turn it on.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Not the same old, same old, same old. Not in my group if I can help it. Even with my toys, I try to just do something crazy. I just throw it in dirt and I post it. But it's up to Renee if it makes her Oak Island album, if it inspired me from Oak Island. That's all her deal. She's the boss on that. So if she don't post it, I don't push her to post anything. That's all hers. That's Renee Tunnel's project, Judy.
Yep, and she's doing a good job too. It's fun to look at it.
Yep, and hello, Tom Burns. The main man is in here. Tom Burns on the last show of season 8 that I'm glad I had a Saturday podcast, because if I had earlier, everybody'd be crying Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. So I hope everybody's done crying so you can listen to me, whatever I'm saying. And I also want to thank, we have an executive producer of the show, The Curse of Oak Island. His name is Jonathan Levy, Judy.
Yes, and I'm grateful that he joined.
Yep, and he's great to be on because he will see our comments and our posts for the show to get instant feedback. You know what I mean, Judy? Like if he goes and has a show and wants to look at instant feedback, where does he go? You come to the Quest of Oak Island, because when I put in there, what's it called? Spoiler alert for like you guys in Canada that don't have VPNs. He can come to our group right after 10 o'clock, after the show airs, and says, hey, the show was good, the show was bad, what's this going on, what's that going on? So I appreciate Jonathan Levy being a member of my group to see the instant feedback from you guys. So you know they're listening, you know they're watching. If they will do anything, I don't know, but at least we have eyes on us from the show, higher ups. I thank you, members, so much. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, and I'm sure they will know by listening that the fellowship is well loved and everybody loves the show as well.
Oh, that post that I put on of them all leaving the war room had over 45,000 views, over 5,000 involvements. It just went just went crazy, and everybody making comments. You know, we'll miss you. We can't wait till next year. I mean, you can read it in my chat. It was just unbelievable. And my chat and my PMs just slowed down now from Tuesday's night show. I was swamped about a message, Judy, every 90 seconds, nonstop.
Wow.
I also posted today, the drone guy, he posted something today, and I shared it on YouTube. I guess he's got permission. He got through a Canadian law, and he also had Charles Barkhouse's permission. Because I asked, I said, well, how do you just fly over private land? And he answered me, So I thank him for answering. So I guess if he can start droning the island all the time and see updates, I guess we're good, Judy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I enjoy it when they do it, especially in the fall with the colors.
Right. Hello, Linda. Hello, Annette. How is everybody? And Playground Justice, he's in the house on the YouTube side. But yeah, so I wanted to have those thankouts there, and we do have eyes on us. And tonight's show is also going to be about Tuesday night show, the last show, the crying show. And I'm just going to put a couple of things out here that I think Zena's map, Judy. You remember Zena's map that showed like a one full island?
Yes.
And people always ask, why isn't it two islands if it was done many, many hundreds of centuries ago? You know what I mean?
Right.
I says, I'm going to leave this to the last part, and this is the last part of the show. My own personal opinion, guys, there for Zena's map that's showing a full island on the traced and over traced map that they had at the time. I think the island was two islands, but the map that's shown on Zena's map is a plan. Now, let me repeat this. I think the island was two islands a long time ago, but Zena's map, where it shows the full elephant, was a plan to close it up. Thus, this is showing one island, but did indicate, if you read it, a marsh. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, John, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about it.
That's like if you got a lot, 5 acres of land and no house on it. Well, the lot will show no house on it because you got a plan, but the plan will show a full house on the lot. See what I'm saying?
Right. Gotcha.
So that was my opinion on a lot of questions on how come the map, if it was made so many hundreds of centuries ago, why isn't it two? It's because I think it was a plan on the map to close it up, so they made it one, and they did indicate a marsh. So we'll talk about that later. And also, I always save this question to last. If they're so interested about Nolan's Cross, and Chris says it's the Bacon's Cross, Judy, you know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
And if they date wood underneath the cobblestone road, why can't we get some kind of wood or some kind of dating material under a 10-ton boulder to see when that boulder was set on top of something that can be dated? What do you think of that, Judy?
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I would love to know.
Hello, Jessica. You know what I mean, Daniel? Like, if you want dates, let's get dates. You get under that rock with a big lift. You strap that rock on with those big lift trucks. And whatever Dr. Spooner can date under that rock, date it. Then we'll know, sort of, the date of Nolan's Cross. Does that make sense, Judy, or no?
It does. Perfectly.
Good evening, Pam Block. And also, the last thing we'll talk about later, and then we'll get Judy on to do her synopsis, is I had a map that said a mining lease. You remember that, Judy?
Yes, I do.
And Frederick Blair got this mining lease in 1904. As far as I think, and trying to understand it, I think he got this mining lease to bypass the treasure, not license, but the treasure. If he found treasure, it was another way for him to take it 100% instead of giving it back to the province. You know what I mean, Judy?
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
So if he found gold or silver, well, they didn't say gold in doubloons or ingots or gold bars or religious artifacts. I mean, something would have happened if he did dig something like that up. But I think he got that mining lease sort of like a back door of trying to get the treasure. You know, skirting taxes or whatever the heck they do when they do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me, and I hadn't thought about it.
Hello, Dan. How are you? Alrighty. Let me get Judy's picture up here. Alrighty, Judy, I got your picture up. you're on for your last synopsis of 2000 and no, it won't be the last. If the show comes back on in November, we're still good in 2021, right?
Right, we will be. What am I going to do for the next 2 or 3 months, though?
I don't know. I'll give you something to do.
Okay.
All right, Judy's.
Okay.
Judy's.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Tuesday night started with a drilling down that highlighted the main theories of Oak Island and introduced a new one. Surprise. Is Oak Island connected to nearby Covey Island? Covey looks like Oak Island, and it has a swamp and a paved road. So it's something for us to look forward to next year. Don't miss it. It was a really good show, guys. Episode 25 opens in the war room with the team discussing the silver found in the water last week. Ian says it is very rare to find this much silver in water. They will now take samples of the sediment in C1 to test. In the swamp, as the team continues to dig on the pathway, Rick has found more pottery from the 1700s. He then digs up a heavy, solid metal object that looks like it could be a weight. It will be tested to find its chemical composition. On the southwest border of the swamp, on Lot 32, Billy, Gary, and Steve are looking for artifacts. From deep down, Billy digs up a formed piece of wood with a drill hole in it. It looks like it could be related to the pieces of ship's railing found a few weeks ago. It could also be a door latch. It's morning, and in the war room, the team is discussing the heavy metal object Rick found yesterday. It is round, about 1 inch long, made mostly of copper, and it weighs 45 grams. They believe it to be a weight from the 14th century used to weigh gold and silver. Hoping to find where the pathway is going, the swamp goes before snow. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting this mixed up. Hoping to find the pathway before the first snow falls. Marty says, let's get at it. A day later, Aaron and Miriam are digging on the pathway, and Rick and Ian arrive. Aaron shows them a burned area they have found in the middle of the pathway. Aaron thinks it could be a forge, and it could be proof that there was human activity here before 1795. That afternoon, on Lot 25, Laird, Liz, Alex, and David continue to dig in the ball foundation. Rick arrives, and Laird tells him that the house looks much larger than first thought. That points to Samuel having some money. Is he connected to the treasure? Hope we find out next year. Later in the swamp, Aaron upstates Rick, Alex, and David on the pathway. At this point, it is 9 feet wide and is going towards the money pit. Later, the whole team gathers in the war room, some via computer, to discuss season 8. They have just had their first snow, so they are finished for this year. Rick states he can't get over how much they have accomplished considering their late start. Aaron is happy about the finding of a 600-foot-long cobblestone road found in the swamp with no paper trail, so it could be hidden. Plus, it goes to the money pit, and that's a plus. Gary points out the 700 artifacts found this year. They show much activity went on the island before the finding of the money pit. Steve presents a map he put together that shows where each item was found. He shows what he believes to be multiple hidden pathways, one on Lot 15, heading away from the swamp. Ian gives the results of the testing done on the sediment from C1. There is very little metal in it, so Ian believes there is something important going on in the water in the Money Pit area. He thinks it's picking up silver from the treasure. Marty then declares that because of the silver, the Big Dig is back on the table. Thank goodness. Rick says it's the only way to find the answer. Gary is going back to the swamp next year, and Alex says he's going to the Money Pit. Greg says a break is needed to go over all the data from season 8. Marty then praises the team for their hard work accomplished this year and pronounces his pride in Rick's leadership. In tears, Rick states he is humbled and grateful to have had the privilege of working on Oak Island and with this great group of people, the Fellowship of the Dig. As goodbyes are said, they leave believing the Oak Island story to be true. Rick says, the truth will someday be found, and I hope it's by us. Let's hope all goes well this year on the island and the team stays safe. So, and I want all of you to also stay safe until I see you next week. And you will see John. Oh, I guess we're not going to have a show on Tuesday, are we, John?
No pre-show this coming Tuesday. And thank you so much for your synopsis, Judy, and also give the members a little update on the COVID situation up there, please.
Oh, right. Now, here in Ontario, we have fortunately evened out. We are staying even. We're not going down, but at least we're even. In Nova Scotia, as far as I know right now, all the borders are still closed, and I don't know if they're still going up or if they also have evened out, but I do know the borders are closed.
Okay, Judy.
Hopefully the team's there, John.
I've heard tidbits that the team's there. I don't know which ones are there. They're in their 14-day quarantine. It's the same thing as last year, so they know the procedures and what to do there. Also from Judy, her synopsis will be put in print as usual on the Quest of Oak Island group page for everybody to get them details on the big Tuesday night final show of season 8. And Judy, I thank you so much for your time and work and all these synopsises that you've been doing. I appreciate you 1,000%. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, John. And Tom Burns says that Nova Scotia had 163 cases today, down from yesterday. Yes.
Going down is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
All righty. And also in that drone video that I shared that was filmed today, May 8th, it does show some excavator digger near Fred Nolan's cottage off to the left. So who knows if they're digging for a septic tank or whatever they're doing there. But that was good to see, just seeing an excavator's arm going in and out. You know what I mean, Judy?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. You don't like the thought of nobody being on the island all winter except Dave, of course.
Right. We want digging. We want digging all the time. Just keep on digging. You know what I mean?
Right on.
All righty. Let me see this here. And I want to do this one thing, guys, before we go through our screenshots. I'm going to put something up by the professor, Daniel Spino, just to give you guys ideas of what he might think may have happened. I mean, nobody has to agree with everybody 100%, but I like to just put these things out there that pique my interest. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah. I mean, we need to think about it, so why not find everybody's thoughts on it?
Yep, and then it's up to you to decide, well, Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, that's a plausible idea and things like that. And then Michael says on YouTube he's making a getaway with the treasure. He's digging out the treasure and getting the heck out of there with his boat. Thank you, Tom, for that information up there. Tom, you're the best. And then Pan Block wants to talk theories. Here's something from the professor. Judy, I'm going to take your picture down in my picture, and I'm going to have to go in the big square and the little square. So hold on, guys. Okay, Judy?
Yep, sounds good.
There we go. Hope I pressed the right buttons. All right, guys. Okay, Maureen, taking care of the lawn. Cut the grass, trim the hedges. Not yet trim the hedges, but all right. Hello, Curtis on the YouTube side. Whoever I missed, hello to everybody. This Daniel posted, it just caught my eye. We'll wait till it comes on. I know there's a delay. And the Wilden Iron, newcomen.com, that the professor Daniel Spino posted on our group, The Quest of Oak Island. Do you see it, Judy? Is it up?
I can see it. Yeah, it's up, John.
Alrighty. Hi, Kathy from Washington State. Now, doesn't this look familiar? I mean, the oxen with the wagons, with the pine tire kilts, smelters, iron. Wow. This could have been happening on Oak Island. It says,
Sure could have, John.
It says for some 338 years, the Weld, I don't know if I'm not pronouncing that right, was home to a major iron industry with some 109 forges and 119 furnaces, the last of which closed in 1813. However, the area supported a much older iron industry stretching back some 2,300 years. Early furnaces were small, made of clay and stone, and produced a solid spongy mass of iron called a bloom that was never molten but could be hammered into useful shapes like knight's armor, weapons, horse and ox shoes, nails, and tools were all made from this blooming iron. Imagine that, Judy. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know it either. It's amazing what they could do.
Hello, Vicky. In 1490, the first blast furnace was built in Britain on the Weald at Buxton and East Sussex, called blast furnaces because bellows blew a continuous blast of air into the furnace near its base. These furnaces produced molten iron that could be cast directly from the furnace into useful items such as firebacks, salt pans, and later cannon and shot. To make tools, horse and ox shoes, nails, and hand weapons, the iron had to be refined in forges to reduce its carbon content. For this, the iron was cast into large beams, 2 to 3 meters long, weighing a half a ton or more, called soles. So maybe that's what they need the cobblestone world for? I have no idea. These soles were refined at the forges by burning off the tip of the saw under the blast of air and hammering the result, mushy mash, into long bars. The beating of the water-powered hammers gave the rise to the name Hammer Pond. Professor Spino, I just love this idea that this could have happened on Oak Island. Hello, Trudy. How are you? So just to put an idea out there, I don't know how many people have seen that. A lot of people read this post. But I wanted the YouTube side to see this, Daniel, that this could have happened on a smaller scale on Oak Island. maybe a secretive island to build and repair things for the British. And that's why we can't find anything, because it was a secret place. No backup data, no records of nothing, and no items of anything. It's just too clean. So we should be finding a lot of slag, though. But I think they did mention slag, Dr. Spooner, a couple of times. Linda, I think they found slag in the dig, but I don't know how much. I have no idea. But I like that Daniel came up with this idea, and I like it. What do you guys think? And then
I think it's amazing. It gives us an idea what could have been happening there.
Yes, they found slag. Yep. This was a lot of elements like they are finding on the island. Correct. Correctamundo. So I'm glad you brought that up, because down the pathway, I got screenshots, and I remember Dr. Spooner say, well, that could be a forge right there. Remember that?
Right. Yes.
Or it could be just a fire pit. I have no idea. But if there's a lot of slag there, you know they were doing that kind of work. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right on. I noticed on chat this week that some of them were talking about gold and silver being mined in the area, and they wondered if maybe some was found on Oak Island. What do you think?
I know up the road a piece, what do people say? 12 miles away is Gold River, and the mouth of the river where all the gold is. And if
Yes.
and if Oak Island's like a piece of Swiss cheese underneath there, it has to be something that flew down there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because of all the water that's undermining the island. Well, if the Gold River is coming from the top down, you got to get some residual from that stuff. You know, some lighter particles. Who the heck knows? You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. Exactly.
So, Daniel, thank you for this picture. I wanted to give it to the YouTube side. Guys, this is on the Quest of Oak Island Facebook site. If you want to go there and see all the explanations and where to see the link to get more information on this, it's all there. Right? Thank you so much, Daniel. And then Daniel thinks, I think they were mining on the island as well, many uses over a long period of time. Yeah. Yep. Another time period. Yep. Tom Burns, there were gold mines in Nova Scotia. However, gold does not leach like silver does.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So if Tom, so if light particles of gold come from the Gold River, it just sits in the mouth. It doesn't go. It wouldn't reach 12 miles away or whatever in the current. I have no idea. And Trudy says, my late hubby loved your show. As I watch your show, makes me smile. The memories will last a lifetime as I watch it now. Love you all. God bless you. USA all. Thank you, Trudy. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let's get into the screenshots of the show Tuesday. Let me see here. Get into some screenshotting. And I hope, like I said, I got so many pictures. I think I got over 30 or 40 pictures. So you're going to see them the first time that I'm seeing them, because I can't keep track of them all. I just do screenshots and they give me groups of 10. So we'll go through each one as we go through. All right, guys?
Yep. Go for it.
Here we go. All righty. This is an overshot of how Laird. I couldn't believe how big Sam Ball's cellar was. You know what I mean, Judy?
I know. I was shocked. It had to have been a big house.
Like, I'll show you pictures. I got pictures of McGinnis's house, and we'll see how big that is also. But when you saw Sam Ball's mess of a cellar with all the boulders, I never thought it would be this big. You know what I mean?
Oh, I sure didn't either. I thought it would be more like a small cabin.
Yeah. Yep. But when you see him standing in the cellar there, it's unbelievable. And I got so many PMs about, hey, John, there's a trap door into that cellar. There's a root cellar underneath that door. My personal opinion is when everything rotted, the door fell out of the frame. Obviously, the cellar was a dirt floor, and this frame of the door, or whatever was left from the door, just rotted on the dirt floor. I see no opening there. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm looking at it, Judy.
Well, and like you said another time too, they were standing right there and leaning there. If there was an opening underneath, you'd think they'd go through.
Right, but if the tunnel underneath got filled in by hundreds of years of erosion, maybe the dirt fell in within itself in the opening, if there is one on the bottom. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, right.
Who the heck knows?
Oh, for sure.
So, but that was my first impression. Usually my first impressions are pretty good, because if there was some kind of opening there, I mean, there would have been more than just them pieces of wood of a door on top of the dirt, maybe some rocks on the edges or something. I didn't see anything but when he was sweeping off the boards of the door.
Well, hopefully we find out next year.
Yeah, we got a lot to look forward to next year, I tell you.
We sure do.
There's another shot of the final of the 20 by 80 small paved area. And my question also was to you guys, we never ever approached or swept off the big, large pave area next to the eye of the swamp. I was always wondering why, because they said, well, looking at just as much information doing the small paved area than they can with the big paved area. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that, but yeah, it is quite a bit bigger, isn't it?
Right, but as far as time-wise, I guess do the small one first, and then we'll worry about the big one later, I guess.
Right.
Pam Block, maybe someone or some people helped Mr. Ball. Yeah. Yeah, usually when they built a house during those days, they always had a lot of help. Who they were, I have no idea. But then there's another top shot. You see the eye of the swamp there, that little ponding area where the fresh water comes up. And all the trees are turning. Then they showed on the table, there's the old axe head, the piece of coal, the ring bolt that we all saw. And Michelle, hopefully get a lot of dates. Yeah, we need dates. Like I was telling Judy, Michelle, before you came in. Get some dates underneath these Nolan's Cross. That's what I want next. But what I want and what they do is two different things. You know what I mean, Judy?
Well, maybe if we say it often enough, they'll get the idea and go ahead and do it for us.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Out of all those big boulders, there has to be something underneath, not the boulder in the beach, but the boulders, in the forest and everything there. That has to be something they can date underneath one of these boulders. Annette, how many feet from the stone pathway is that large beam? Go to my group. There's pictures that I showed that, and we discussed the closeness to the road and how close it is to the cobbleway paveway. And that I don't have that information right here, but it's in my group because I wanted to know that information also. But it looked like it was nowhere near the ship-shape anomaly. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, I agree. It sure didn't.
Then the keg barrel top, the keg barrel bottom. I mean, I know we got a date from Carmen, but we didn't get any official date like from Mr. Tester. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly.
You're welcome, Annette. You know what I mean? We didn't get no official date, but I bet you he got these dates, but maybe they're holding back on these dates there.
I think they are.
I mean, would you just send one piece of wood to the people? No, you get everything that you have at that time and send a whole bunch. one piece at a time, I think wouldn't be too financially correct,
Right. Yeah, they might as well get all they can done at one time.
Right. Not unless it was something pertinent that they wanted right away, like that cribbing underneath the stone paved way. They wanted that date real quick, you know what I mean?
Right.
That 1489 to 1654. But yet, guys, when they're given these dates with a 165-year difference, like I told Daniel and I've told some members, I go around the 50% mark on these dates. You know what I mean, Judy? I don't know if that's right, but that's what I do.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Probably not, Tom. I don't know. The last digging down is Tuesday, and that's it. Yep, I go by the 50% rule on these long dates. And then you know what I was thinking too? You guys are going to really think I'm nuts. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? And Kathy. When I saw this picture, you see this picture of the survey stakes?
Yes.
Not the stove door, not the spike, not the X on top, not the smooth piece of stone, smooth piece of wood on there. You know what I thought of, guys? Of the survey stakes? You guys are going to think I'm out of my mind now. If you were there temporary, okay, you had a workforce there temporary, say, if they're digging tunnels, you got to feed them. They're not going back on the boat if there's a boat to sleep and everything else because you're just digging. Why do these stakes have to be survey stakes? Could they be some kind of tent stakes?
That's an idea for sure.
Big roped tent stakes for temporary sleeping quarters. Now, am I going nuts or what?
No, John, it makes perfect sense because they certainly needed them with all those people.
Right. How did they hold down tents in those days? I mean, they didn't tie them. I mean, you tie them to a tree or you tie them to a stump, or you would need stakes to hold down some kind of living quarters, can't you?
Yes, sure.
I don't think they look burnt. I think that's age, Linda. And Barbara likes that one. Oh, a good one, she says. I mean, they had to sleep. I don't care how strong you are. And the weather there in Nova Scotia on Oak Island, I mean, it's not 70 and sunny every day there. You know what I mean, Judy?
You're right on.
So they're not going to.
Chris says they were along the road, though, the stakes.
It still doesn't mean there wasn't some sort of living quarters there. I know they're along the road. They say it's staked out for a road. I understand about the direction of how you stake out a spot. But I try to think off the beam. If I was staking out a road, Chris, would I find 2 survey spikes? I would have a spike maybe every 20 feet. All right? I was a surveyor. I went to school for civil engineering. And even if I did this thing in the year 1300 or whatever, I would have a stake maybe every 10 foot, then every 20 foot, then maybe every 50 foot on both sides now. So that doubles the amount of stakes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Now, were the stakes dated? I think they were just dated by Carmen, right?
Yes. And Chris says they could have served both purposes.
Right, but I'm saying the amount of stakes. If they're saying this is for a design of a road, now let's get our math together, Judy. This pathway and you're saying that roadway. Now, you're not saying the cobblestone pathway. You're saying it goes all the way up the pathway, right?
Right.
That road is 600 feet long. They're not going to keep on pulling up stakes as they keep on going. 600 feet on one side, 600 feet on another side. To me, that's a total of 1,200 feet of pathway or road. Am I correct, Judy?
Yes, you are.
Hi, Scott Dilly. Thanks for coming in. So if I have 1,200 feet of road and I only find 2 stakes, don't make no sense to me.
Right.
I'm just trying to put perspective. They say it's a road. Okay, they say these are survey markers for a roadway or a pathway. 600 feet up, 600 feet down is 1,200 feet. There should have been a lot more than 2 stakes found. So I'm looking, well, what other things that these stakes would be found? And that's when I'm going with that way. I understand. Yup, Jan. Anything near the burn area? I'm not sure. A commander tent for fire and warmth? And my main man, Tom Burns, I got him going. It would be more angled as opposed to vertical. I have no idea. Bottoms of a large tripod, like in a big teepee tent. Yeah, but I just put that out there because, Judy, you still there?
I'm here.
1,200 feet of road up and down if you design it. You should have found 100 of these survey markers.
Maybe they just didn't show them to us.
Yeah, it could be. The up in that housing, food areas, storage places could have been near the road. Yeah, because this is a big project they took on here, and I'm just looking, well, it's real cleaned up, but I don't think they would care about road stakes. So, and I don't think they were burnt, Judy. I can't remember if they said it was burnt, but I don't remember them getting charcoal on their hands when they pulled it up. You know what I mean? On these stakes, that's how we know it's charcoal. If you put up a stake and you got no black powder on your hands, it's not charcoal. It's just old age. You know what I mean?
Right, that's what it seems. Tom says, or perhaps they removed them to hide them, except the ones that broke off.
Linda with the plumb bob. I'm not sure. I don't know where. I can't remember. And Jenny with the inky. But who was going to pitch their tent on a rock road? I hear you, Jenny. I hear you. They would go to a comfortable place to sleep. Yep. And they might have been dropped and not picked back up. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there because it just strikes me strange that if they're going with the road, that there should be more than 2 stakes. But if they pull them all up out of 1,200 feet to design it, or use the same 2 or 3 or 4 to go up, I have no idea. And Scott Dilly, look clean cut. Yeah, so I just put that out there when I saw that. Do they have to be survey stakes? No. Could they be survey stakes? Yes. And I'm saying, what else do you use stakes for in them days? Well, they got to sleep, and they had to put a roof over their head somehow, some kind of tent, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't sunny and 80 degrees there every day there when they did whatever they were doing. You know what I mean, guys?
I'm 100% with you on that one.
So that's what went through my mind on that. I got to say what's on my mind. I tell it how it is, and move on. And then there's how they're using the ring bolts with the chain to pull things over the cobblestone road to wherever. Again, those are those stakes. And that's what drove me crazy when I saw those pictures, Judy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And there's the table of all the items, the Canon support staff on the bottom there, stuff they found in the swamp. And there's a overhead shot. I thought it was pretty good showing us this stuff. What do you think, Judy?
Oh, it was great. I think they did a really good job.
Yep, Scott Dilly, to tie up the boats on the side. You got that right. If it was a harbor, you got stones on one side, or a wharf on one side, a wharf on another, and the boat in the middle, tied up to the eye bolts on the wooden platform that was on top of the cobblestones. And then playground justice, 1,200 feet of road times 2, both sides, a stake every 10 foot, 240 stakes. Yep, that's what went through my mind. That's the engineering side on me. You know, you build a heavy road to carry a heavy load. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, exactly.
And then Linda, no doorknob or lipstick tube. Nope, not yet. All pieces to the many stories of Oak Island. Yeah, the roller coaster. Here we go. And I'm trying to figure out, what did we figure out this year? You guys know?
We found a lot, but I don't know what we figured out for sure.
That's what I put the question out before we see Steve's map here when they found the 700 items. What did we accomplish this year? We got a lot of dates, like I read you, what was it, Tuesday or Saturday? I don't know. All the dates. We got a ton of dates for the timeline. But what did we accomplish?
Certainly got a lot of the road cleaned off and have an idea where it might go.
And of course, they got to point to the money pit. And the silver thing's got me crazy. That much silver is getting diluted in the water by Dr. Spooner. That could be as big as the war room filled with silver. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. I have no idea, but he's saying that room in the war room filled with silver is given his readings. Yep, Tom, the increased focus on the swamp was warranted. Yep. And then that Steve's map floored me. Yep, and Daniel, the professor, evidence of large-scale workings on the island. Yeah. Yep. And then Starlene says, I think the stakes are where it branches off to the paths. Tim says, there is silver content in the water up to the money pit. Yeah. They showed us the picture. It was strongest in C1, then one where the woman's monument is, Judy.
Right.
And then there was one to the right bottom of the money pit where the highest spike readings of silver.
Boy. Well, I hope there's something there.
Yep, and this is how Steve maps out every item with his GPS. Tony Sampson, there's another use for the stakes too, John. To hold the boat, you do not need a wharf. Mooring rings, we still use those on rock walls here to hold a boat fast. That's right, Tony. The stakes to hold a boat. You don't need a wharf. Just tie it to a stake, Judy.
Wow.
No, Kathy, they don't have access to lot 5 that's privately owned. So we don't know. Thank you, Tony, for that. See, Judy, you get all these different things. I had no idea. Tony would know. He's the boatman.
Right on. I can't imagine trying to get out of that boat, though.
Probably,
Especially with my short legs.
Probably a lot of people fell in, you know.
Yeah, so betcha.
But then if a lot of people fell in, then we should find a lot of artifacts, right?
Right. Exactly.
Here's Steve's map with every item found, including coal pieces. So that's a pretty good finding. But then I was looking to the left, looking to the right. That's a lot of stuff.
Sure is.
Yep, wow. Linda says too small for large boats, yeah. And also, Gaetan, thanks for coming in. Where the heck you been? Fence posts to mark hotlines to keep in farm animals. Yep, fence posts to keep, what do they put up there? The fence, the wiring on the fence to keep the farm animals in, and so they don't fall into the swamp.
Right.
Because they had the 600-foot pathway, right, Judy?
Yeah.
So what stops a cow or anything else to fall into the swamp but a fence all the way around that 600 foot? So the stakes could be a fence support system.
It sure could.
Mom, me, we're getting so many different great ideas. I thank you so much, guys. Or anchor offshore and ferry people and materials back and forth on the barges. I hear you. A lot of different ideas. And there's part of the ox shoes and the lot 14 and 15, that cannon support mechanism. We didn't hear much about cannons after we saw that little bit, Judy.
No, we didn't, did we?
That just went, just disappeared. Then there's a detailed map of what they found going down that line. It's a little foggy, but it's all the items Gary found going down that line off to the stone road. And that's the small stone road now, 20 feet wide by 80 feet long. Then Michael on YouTube, I wonder what objects were found that correlates with the Behringer survey. I don't think they found anything yet to tie it into the Behringer survey yet, Mike. Yeah, but don't forget, Jenny, they're only a small piece. In those days, they didn't have big 6x6s and 4x4s. Whatever logs and wood they had, sharpen the end, drive it in the ground, and put fence material around to keep them out of the swamp because they would drown in the swamp. Remember, those ships back then draw a lot of water. They're not coming close to Oak Island. There was only 3 pieces on Oak Island that you can ship even sort of close. Right, Tony. So they had to ship them in on smaller boats to get to Oak Island. The big ship won't even get close. I hear you. Thank you for your information, Tony. And here's on lot 15 on this line where they found a, what does it say there? Copper disc, trade axe, ox shoe, linchpin, ornament, square nails. So, I mean, Steve's doing a great job, Judy. So once he makes this 3D map of everything they found, and it'd be like you walking into the island and just actually picking it up yourself. You know what I mean?
Right on. His heart's sure in it, isn't it?
Oh, my God. I love that 3D map. When I was surveying, we didn't have nothing like this at all. And Daryl Simmons, grave markers. I don't know. We don't ever find no bodies on the island except for the 2 bones in H8, but who knows? There's probably bodies around there someplace. Who the heck knows? Or they just bury them at sea if they're sailors. You know, you don't get buried in land if you're a seaman. You get buried at sea, don't you?
Yes, I would think so.
So who knows what they did. There's lot 15 compared to the money pit. There's the ox shoes and the axe heads. And I still don't know how an ox walked on that cobblestone, even though if it was full of mud or anything else, Judy, they must have broke their legs every 2 seconds.
Oh, I don't know how they did it either. I really don't.
And even if they were pulling a sled, not a wagon with wheels, but a sled over that cobblestone road with a 2,000-pound animal, I don't know how it didn't just break its hoofs and it broke a shoe, but I'm saying the actual physicality of the animal,
Right, exactly.
And if you're making a heavy stone road, you're hauling heavy material. And there's the old Chinese coin. Yep. Most stone roads had smooth, flattened tops. This cobblestone road didn't have no flat tops. That's why I call it a foundation for a wooden wharf. But that's my own personal opinion. And here's this red line, Judy, where they're saying where the stone pathway turns up.
Okay.
So that's why I took a screenshot of that, because that's where they say the stone pathway goes up.
Well, certainly heading towards the money pit.
Yeah. Alrighty, let me see what I got here. So how you guys doing tonight, all right?
I'm good. I think everybody's having a good time.
Okay, and this is a couple of pictures they showed that they had a little bit of gold, shiny stuff in C1. You guys all saw that into the wall. Scott Dilly, better now because of me. That's too kind. You're too kind there, Scott. I'm only just a normal guy mumbling here. On a Saturday night. And here's where those high concentrations of silver, like Dr. Spooner showed us on WS1, WS2, WS9. Michelle's got an 80-pound bulldog asleep in my lap. You mean I put your dog to sleep? I'm the dog sleeper?
Take a picture.
We're both enjoying. Okay. So this is where the high concentrations were. They're all around the money pit from Dr. Spooner showing us. There's a nice picture of the island with the leaves turning. I like that picture. Judy, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's beautiful. I so would like to go and stay on that island.
Chris, the Starman Dona, which cone do you think the big dig will be centered on? I believe C1 will be the focus.
I agree.
We got a lot of agreements on the C1, Chris. I would like if they put a little cofferdam around the eye of the swamp.
Yes.
I know they want to look for that wood that was underneath 10 foot below sea level, but I would like a cofferdam around the eye of the swamp where the blue clay is used as a plug or a waterproofing, and get something accomplished that there's nothing there or there's something there. Linda, John, the video we saw today when was that shot? The video of the island was shot today. May 8th. He does have permission. He had permission from Charles Barkhouse. I've spoken to him because I wasn't sure you can just take pictures over private property. Laird said they can only be so far up. They got to be in line of sight. And that was taken today, May 8th. What you think, Don? Yes, let's get that eye cofferdammed up.
Definitely.
All right, ready? And that was the picture of the island. I thought I liked that. I don't know, the different colors, and I just love this picture for some reason.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And there's Dr. Spooner. This is when he took sort of a sediment sample to see if silver was in the sediment. But Judy, there was no silver in it, and it's all coming from the water.
Right.
So check that one off. At least we know that.
Yes. I guess that's a good thing.
So you see one as they got it, because that's the only case on that's there. Everything else is all backfilled. They only got the C1 to do things. So
Right.
and there's another picture of them coming up towards Fred Nolan's house. And then the eye of the swamp there. And there's Rick's dustpan full of pottery that you said in your synopsis that they were found the creamware. You remember the creamware, right, Julie?
Yes. And he did find quite a bit more of it.
Yeah, the real thick creamware pottery. And there's all pictures of this, some of it on the Quest of Oak Island Facebook page. I will be posting all these screenshots to the Quest of Oak Island Facebook page. The ones that are paid members on YouTube do see all this information the minute I get it. So you're way dead set in the front of these guys. Just check out that community tab on my paid YouTube membership site. I mean, it starts at 75 cents a week. If you want to support me and the channel, you get prior photos, prior synopsises, prior everything before I go public with it, which I think is a nice thing. It's not for everybody, but give it a look. Thank you. Then they found this, Judy. And Tom Burns. I think they need to dye test water again to see if how more holes to get the sense of direction of water flow. Yeah, or maybe different colors, let you know which water is going which way. I don't know.
That would be interesting, yeah.
And of course, they got to say this thing with that hole in on the top came off of a boat. You see that, Judy?
Yes, I see it. And who knows? But it's going to be interesting to find out.
Yep. Get it dated like the rest of the stuff. I mean, the stuff, obviously, that they found later in the show, in the season, obviously, the turnaround time and the taping of the show and editing, that all takes a lot of time. So by the time we see it, it's already done with, but it's didn't make the show. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We'll find out next year.
And we are watchers on YouTube. Do they know which way the water is flowing, directional wise? I have no idea. I like that question. I mean, it could be coming in from every which way. I don't know how they're going to do it. Hello, Gwen from Australia. Thanks for coming in on the YouTube side. Thank you so much. I don't know how they would find a direction, Judy, as far as water flow. You know what I mean? If it's coming in every which way underneath the island, how the heck are they going to do that?
You're right. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows how, I hope.
Yep. So this is a boat piece they found. Let's see what the next one is there. And this is how they get elements out of materials. This gizmo device shows what materials are coming out of the material you're shooting at. I thought that was kind of interesting, Judy.
Yeah, it was. That was cool. It's amazing what they can do today.
And Gaetan, some were preserved being in the swamp, others rotted. You remember Gaetan, right, Judy?
I do very much. It's nice to have them aboard.
Yeah. Yep. Good seeing you, Gaetan. Good seeing you. And then here's a picture of just the island going out and where they're digging. You see Billy's digging on top of the road there, sort of. You see the dirt path he's making?
Yes.
And that's where they found that boat piece. And there's that road looking down, as I just showed you that previous picture. And this is where they found that boat piece with the hole on the top. Am I boring you guys so far?
No, you're not, John. It's going good.
All right, here's this other boat, that same boat piece, but a different angle on that big mound of dirt I just showed you that Billy was digging out. There's a closer picture of it. What do you guys think it is? You think it's another lock handle? I don't know. That big hole obviously had a peg.
It sure looks like it. Somebody mentioned it could be part of a latch.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. You know, in the old days, you know, the pegs were like their nails, you know what I mean?
Right.
So very interesting piece of wood. And that says it's a door latch. And Billy says the XRF gun gives an instant reading of the metal compositions. That's what they need there.
For sure. For sure.
We haven't heard much of Gary's new metal detector that goes down 40 feet. You know what I mean?
No, we sure didn't. Hopefully he'll use that more this coming year.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Judy? They showed it and they promoted it, and yet I don't remember them even maybe using it once or twice, but that was it.
That was about it.
Scott Dilly, it looks like it's used on a boat to secure lines. Yeah, it could be. Ropes go through that hole to secure lines. Yeah, a lot of ropes on the older ships, guys. A lot of ropes. How many pictures did I take of this? And they're showing the ship Anomaly in the swamp. And Jenny, does anyone think parts of a boat or ship could have just washed into the island with years of weather and action? Waves are pretty powerful things. Yes, Jenny. I mean, there was no road in front of the swamp when the tide comes in and the tide goes out. Anything can go in there. That's a given. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, for sure.
And then there's that weight Judy was saying, as they put on a scale to offset if you had gold or silver or whatever you want to weigh and compare it to how many grams it is or ounces it is. And that was found a weight on the road. So they're like saying, well, why would there be tent stakes on a cobble road? Well, why would there be a weight for scaling on the road? You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly.
It just, none of this makes any sense. And that's what we're trying to do, is put the puzzle together. But oh my God, this puzzle's driving me crazy. There's, like, say the scale they were using on one side to even off to see how much you had. Yep, Daniel, we need a weight. Wait, we need a date on the weight. Oh my God, I'm mumbling like crazy, you know. Yep, we got to get a date on that and go from there. But why would you find that on a stone pathway? People hauling stuff. Maybe it was in a chest, or maybe it was in a case or whatever. You know what I mean, Judy? And it fell out.
Yep, or they dropped it. Yeah, could have dropped it.
Or before they got onto the little scuttle, they had to pay something, and you had to pay like a ticket booth, but he was there standing there with a little scale to go on the boat or whatever you had to do. I have no idea. There's a closer look at that weight. I feel like telling Doug Crowell, Judy, you know what I feel like telling him?
What?
When we have a shot on the show that he's on his computer looking for research on these things, I felt like saying, well, you got one guy in the research room. I got 70,000 people, maybe thousands, looking at this stuff at one, not thousands, but I mean, I don't know how many people search like I do. I have no idea. But we have at least, I'd say, 600 to 700 people that search along with the show. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And every once in a while, someone will say, I saw one of those ones also.
Yep. They'll show us on eBay. They'll show us on whatever the heck they found it. It's fantastic. Scott Dilly used to be used to even pay out sailors. Yeah. Michelle, these scale weights could have came in kits of different weights and a box to hold them. Yep. Different sizes to pay each sailor were paid differently. I don't know if people got paid on Oak Island over here to do this stuff, but maybe if it was a trade area. But I think this was almost like a secret military installation because of the cleanliness and less of artifacts that we can't find. And it's so clean. That means to me, nobody wanted to know anybody was there. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right on. Obviously, everything, they tried to hide everything anyway.
Yeah. Yep. And here, the professor, they say, is a forge. Now, if you have a forge, we'd have to find a lot of slag around the forge, right, Professor? And Josh, weights are used for all types of trade which a ship would possibly have. Yeah, I mean, that's how they got paid. They would know. So this is what they're telling us that Dr. Spooner found. Not a fire pit, because maybe there's not enough charcoal there to determine that, Professor. I mean, why does he call this a, what did I say, Judy? A forge. Why does he call this a forge and not a fire pit? You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Doesn't look big enough for one, does it?
But that was my concern. Why he didn't call this a fire pit and he called it a forge. That's what I was trying to determine. There's a closer look at it. We don't see no redness in the soil. You remember he showed the oxidation of the redness of the soil in the fire pits?
Right.
So obviously now I'm looking for redness, not redness. What was it? Like an orange tilt. And that, yes, but we don't know how many artifacts were removed prior to Nolan and Blankenship's involvement in the island. Yeah, a lot of people took artifacts and took them home in it. You know? You don't know who took what and got it on their fireplace mantle and stuff. Who the heck knows? And Tim, maybe they know more and not sharing. But you know what I mean, Tim? It's like, okay, they're not calling this a fire pit. They're calling it a forge. Well, that means they got to have slag in this thing someplace all around if you're using it as a forge. But I don't see no orange in the dirt or anything like that. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an expert. I'm just looking like you guys. And
They
this,
didn't have much time to go into it either, John.
right, it was shown this last Tuesday. So again, they're probably saving it, but I just put it out there, Judy, that I got to put it out there,
Right. Gives us something to think about.
Yep. But if they're calling it a forge on the pathway, now why would you have a forge in the middle of a 600-foot pathway? Won't you have a forge in another area? I have no idea.
Right.
And just like, well, they wouldn't put tents on a stone pathway. Why would they put a forge, a hot forge? Repairs? You want to do your you want to do your repairs closer to the cobblestone road? You want to do your repairs closer to the ocean or closer to the bay? If you're doing repairs on things, you don't want to be 600 feet away from your main area. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right.
And the professor says maybe the circular pattern could indicate a forge. I guess, but like I said, the professor, I was looking for if there's a fire in here, we see the blackness on the bottom, but I don't see any redness, any orangeness to the till. So again, more questions, more questions. And Tim says making oxen shoes on the path, because I guess they really broke them off over there, I guess. Are you ready? Getting back to Dr. Spooner and his silver finds in the water. This is 3 red spots there. You see that's where the high concentration was. And the 2 goldish spots was elevated in copper. So that one on top is near the bin. I forgot what they call that bin. You remember, Judy, up there?
No.
Yeah. Not a trash bin. Dan Blankenship says it was a latrine up there, and they dug up there. Seismic testing thought it was an anomaly, but it was just the layers of sand in between clay. And
right.
then down
Did
where
they call it a hatch?
No.
Okay.
Then down below is near 10x. The next golden ring below is near 10x, high elevations of copper. And then we got the 3 rings, one near the Women's Memorial, one in C1, and then one below that is in the tree line there. The mega bin, Bill. Thank you so much. The mega bin. That's it. You got it. Thank you so much, Bill. Tim says, making them oxen shoes. They must have made 1 million oxen shoes if they were walking on that cobblestone. Walk 10 foot, break a shoe. Walk another 10 foot, break a shoe. But this is part of Dr. Spooner's research. And the guy knows what he's talking about, Judy. So we got to go by what he says.
Exactly. Yeah, he knows his stuff.
And this is when they took a back shot of the shiny gold thing in C1 with the sewer camera way back 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
That they can't find when they sunk in the big C1 caisson. Who the heck knows what happened to that? And there we're showing the elements. The water samples were taken at the bottom of the well, but also further up the water column for comparison. Most were samples taken near the bottom. Notice that, Judy. What does it say? C1 and what? 10x. So they did do samples in 10x.
Good. Yes.
Because a lot of people were PMing me. I'd say about 70 people PM me about why don't they test 10x? Well, guys, I didn't circle it because I was very busy since Tuesday night. But I wanted to show you here. They tested C1, 10x was tested, which I think that yellow circle was 10x with a high concentration of copper. And it shows you the base metal, but also gold with a majority of base metal content, such as copper or zinc. It's mostly usually made making coins, metals, and etc. So I didn't get a definite answer if they tested 10x, Judy, but this shows that he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good. And that's a good thing. I'm glad. I want to know what's down there.
Yeah. And Tom, multiple. Yes, Annette, they tested 10x, which has a high concentration of copper. And there's just an overhead shot of the 12 wells they did with 25 elements. And people ask me, what's that star on the bottom? I have no idea what that yellow star is for. And blue dots are mercury. Thank you, Josh. And there's where I'm showing you 10x with the golden ring is elevated copper. And the red rings are the highest concentration of that silver, copper, zinc, and whatever. Alrighty. Now, did I show this one yet? Copper mining, Daniel? Could be. Here's a picture, Judy. I just wanted to take a picture of Sam Ball's cellar, how massive it is. Did it come up on your computer yet?
Yes, I see it. It's unbelievable how big it is.
Yeah, I never thought it was this big. By looking at the old photos and the old shows, I thought it was a little small little thing. But we can't find any pictures of the homestead. So I thought it was pretty big when I saw the cellar.
Would he need one that large to store cabbage in?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Until the boats came to take it away, probably.
Right.
I mean, you only can do so much in one day to get it ready and get ready for shipment and bring it to the dock. You know what I mean? Or to his wharf. Does the high level of zinc for WS9 indicate a time frame for when it was used as an alloy? I have no idea. Face of America, thanks for joining me. Maybe they repurposed a building that was already there. Yeah, it could be. They always repurposed everything. Or was it a military home first for captains? Jason, it's unbelievable you guys come up with these things. I have no idea, but I love these ideas you guys got.
Me too.
There's our overhead shot, how big it is. There's another picture of the enormity of his lot. See how big that place is? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's huge.
How many kids did Ball have? How many rooms are in the house? Was it a second-story building? Jasdia, you're killing me. They don't have a picture of the house, so they don't know if it's a second story or whatever. How many kids he had? I think maybe they would know that through his will. And how many rooms in the house? I got no idea. You may have to store.
Nice to find a picture, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he may have stored other things, including foodstuffs and meats and everything else. I mean, you just can't store cabbage in your house and live. You know what I mean? And there's a nice picture there. And it probably expanded over time. Yeah, like anybody else's house. Your family gets bigger, you add on a room. You know what I mean, Judy?
Exactly.
In the old days, you just didn't build a 10,000 square foot house. You bought one house with 2 bedrooms, maybe. Then, if you had more kids, there goes a wall. There goes another bedroom.
Right on.
And Jason says the ball home and the 2 wharfs were for a military operation. I believe you. I believe you.
Michelle says tax records would probably tell how many rooms were in the house.
Yeah. But as far as me, as research, rooms in a house really doesn't go on top of my list. Know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly.
And here's the spots that were excavating. I think this was lot 14. And don't forget, when they showed us all on Tuesday on the last show of season 8, they didn't have any of this information when they showed the show, and they didn't even edit it yet. So we don't know what's going on here. I'm just showing you what they showed us on the last part of Tuesday until we get new information. Tom Burns. A 3-bedroom bungalow, 1.5 baths with an oxen cart port. I love you guys. I love you, Tom. I swear to God. Kathy, hi, I'm in Virginia this week. Happy to get you. Thanks for coming in, Kathy. Tom Burns, you're the best. And that was showing another curve higher up. Judy, see lot 12.
Yeah, now it's up. Yeah.
Now, lot 12, now that's higher up the pathway, that 600-foot pathway. And this is where they're saying it's making the turn to the money pit down there where my head is, down in the corner.
Okay.
With a nice ocean view, the professor says. Yep. He had beachfront up in Nova Scotia on Oak Island. You guys are the best. And here's again, Judy, how it's making that 90-degree turn from upper pathway going through 13, lot 14, 15 towards the money pit. You see that yet or no?
Yeah, I see it. Oh, I hope it's not easy.
Now, I don't know if this path is the same path, it probably is though, that Gary found all the oxen shoes and everything. Remember, they kept on saying this is a pathway from the swamp to the money pit, but that might be that might be the lower one. Remember, I showed you that other pathway making a right lower on the swamp.
Yeah, that could be.
You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, I do.
This is the higher one, the higher path, where it's making the turn near Fred Nolan's garage. Nancy, how wide was those lots? How wide? There were 5-acre lots. Maybe 200-foot wide? I don't know. An acre's 200 by 200. That's 1 acre. All right, ready? Next picture. And again, there's the table showing us the stuff. All righty, let me see if I showed this picture. Here it's showing us an animation of the stone pathway going to the uplands. And there you be. But we're not finding all these cobblestones. We're finding very few cobblestones. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly. Right now they are.
Yeah. Don Brent's pretty.
John, go ahead.
Don Brent says pretty close to Aaron's proposed tunnel. Yep. I hear you. Go ahead, Judy. What are you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to read that.
Okay. And here's a lot of area with Steve's maps that I wish we can see his 3D map once he gets it all done, Judy. I just can't wait to, we'll never see it, but a 3D map of everything they found and everything that's been plotted with his GPS will be fantastic.
Well, I hope they show it.
Scott Dilly, what about the one plot on the island that they didn't have permission to look? Yeah, that's lot 5. They can't go on lot 5. And that's all I know about that. Jezdia. If it was never his main house with his family, then it might have been a bunkhouse storage building. Could be, Jezdia. Could be.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's a possibility.
And here's our lonely C1 canister. Yeah, Annette, I would love it. I would love it. And Captain Anderson did have a house, Jezdia, but I forgot what lot he was on. Samuel Ball's lot. He bought his lot from Anderson. Lot 25, right, Judy? I don't know. I'm getting with these numbers. I'm going crazy. Right? He bought the lot from Anderson, Captain Anderson. I thought it was lot 25, but he bought a lot of lots, Samuel Ball.
Yes, he did.
So it's easy for me, Johnny, to get confused. But let me see here. Okay, so that's our lonely caisson, which I think if they're going to do the big dig, they're going to have to get that opened up, I don't know, at least 18 to 25 feet. But for money reasons, they might have to try to hone in with the silver and go for there. Because if they have to spend $25 million to open it up 100 feet by 200 feet deep, I think they could hone it in with the silver water solution. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yep, I hope they can, for sure.
And Daniel says a lot of smuggling was going on that I will be posting about. The secret island had something going on, Professor. And at that time and that age, it all makes sense. And here again is the 3 pictures in C1 showing the little gold in the walls. And there,
John, for those that are interested, Tom Burns said that the owner of Lot 5 does have his own website, and you can search and find out what you want.
Oh, thank you. I don't promote him because he's not part of the team. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't want to be part of the team, then I don't even want to give him any credit or anything if you can't cooperate with us all to solve this big problem. You know what I mean, Judy?
Exactly. Yeah, it would be great if you would.
And there's my main man, Steve and Gary. Here's our main man getting teared up a little bit. The guy is just unbelievable. I mean, I know a lot of people, but the emotion this guy has and the heart that this guy has is unmeasurable. Unmeasurable.
It is.
Where
It is.
are you going to watch a TV show, an adventure, to get this kind of reaction out of people? You're not.
No, you're not anywhere.
And that's why I support these guys 1,000%. They drive me to try to do better. They drive me to give you guys more information and so forth. They need us as much as we need them. We're one.
And John, they remind us there's still good people in this world too, and we need to know that.
But we, what was I going to say now?
Sorry.
And here we go. Get the tissues out. But I love it when he said just the island itself, in the history of the island itself, changed so many people's lives. Even when they give the tours, And now girls want to be like Vanessa, and people want to be like Billy and the excavators, and all this, and everybody wants to be an archaeologist. All this stuff is unmeasurable. It's just unbelievable. And that's what I like about these guys. Just unbelievable. And here they are
They've
buttoning
been
it up.
at it a long time.
Here they are buttoning it up on the table at the season's end. Of course, like I keep on saying, when it's at the end of the season and the last show, they don't even have time to edit it to show us the details, but at least we know what direction we're going to. And there he is breaking down my main man. And we always go forward. And sometimes I think I hear him say that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he does. I have heard him say it.
Really? Because I had no idea when I started doing my endings, that was all me. You know what I mean? I didn't copy them or do anything when I always give my ending good night statements about going forward. But I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming. I have no idea. All right, let me show you McGinnis house. And then Judy will say her goodbyes, and I'm going to put the phone number up for anybody who wants to talk to me on the last show. And then we'll button it up. Okay, McGinnis house, where are you? I might have erased it. Hold on, guys. I'm getting there. I got the mining. That we thought that he got that mining lease to offset if he found the treasure and be sneaky. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right.
And I still want him to go into that eye of the swamp. Okay, you guys saw the ball foundation. We do have a picture of the McGinnis house. Look at the size of that house.
Wow.
Playground Justin, he'll cry for the whole summer because of no show. I hear you, Playground. I hear you. And Jenny, I thought your ending was based on that Italian saying that Marty and Rick used. No. No. I'll look it up after, but I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. But that's how big the McGinnis house was. And you can imagine now how big Sam Ball's house is.
Right.
You see it, Judy?
I do. I see it. It's amazing to me that they built that on that island that long ago.
Alrighty. I'm going to have Judy say her whatever she wants to say on the last show of the season. Then she'll hang up. Then I'm going to put my number up for a couple of minutes to talk to you guys. And then we'll end the season. There will not be no pre-show Tuesday. You guys enjoy the show. Watch my group chat for if we're going to be on next Saturday night. We'll see. Maybe we can get some guests, or we'll just chit chat of a compilation of the professor's post, and then go from there. I mean, probably won't be on every Saturday night. Maybe take one or two off to relax, because also you people need a break and to recharge our batteries. But always watch my group for announcements, always watch my group that I'll be going on live. I'm pretty good on that. So don't leave me then, but don't leave my group. Just watch. So I'm going to have Judy take over if she wants to say something for the end of the season, Judy, and then we'll hang up and I'll put my number up. Thank you, Judy. Let me get your picture up. Hold on.
Okay. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you to all of you for the encouragement that you have given me this year in writing a synopsis and also for being on the show. Couldn't do it without you. I love this group and I love John, and this has kept me going during some rough times. And I'm looking forward to next season, and I will be here and hope you will be too. So good night, everybody, and stay safe, please.
Good night, John. I thank you so much, Judy, and we love you. We love you big time.
Thank you very much. Yeah, bye-bye, guys.
Okay, bye-bye. Alrighty. We'll put this up for about 5 minutes. If we don't get no calls, we'll end it. Like I said, no pre-show Tuesday. And I thank Judy for all her hard work. The group meant a lot to a lot of people, and I'll never let you guys down. Never. 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 But don't forget, you got Jake Roberts on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Sunday, Eastern Time, for his podcast, The Ghost of Bacon. I thanked everybody in the beginning. Everybody's watching. Just stay with me. I know a lot of times when the show goes off, a lot of people just leave. But I hope if you leave, just come back when the season starts again. I hope season 9. There's no big deal. We'll try to get some guests on if they want to come on. I don't stone my guests. I don't send them invites every 5 minutes to come on my show. They all know they're all welcome here. It's just to set up a time. And that's all up to them. They all have an open invite. And Kathy says, thanks, John. Happy Mother's Day to Judy and the ladies. Yes, I was going to say that. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in my group. And there's a lot of women in my group. I wish you all a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I wish you guys the best. Pam Bach, John, enjoyed listening to everybody's theories. Yeah, I thought it was a great year. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, we got some trivia. I got some trivia questions. You can get points to get a free Quest of Oak Island membership mug. I also still have it out there if people have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, which is free. The 2,000th subscriber will get a free membership mug. We're getting there. I can't tell you how close we are, because then that'll be cheating. The 2,000th subscriber to my YouTube channel, QOOI, worldwide, will get a free Quest of Oak Island membership mug. Also on my paid site, I will have t-shirts available, which are on there now. You go to the community tab. You got to be at least there 3 months to start. There's big discounts on merchandise, 10, 20, 30% off. And some perks that go on to that site, which is if you want information quick, to the point, I post it as fast as I get it, you see it. You get my personal PM. You get my personal on top social media contact. I think there's a lot on there. And I thank everybody that has joined and will be joining. Starlene, I got your picture the minute I went live. So I couldn't even post it. Because I can't copy, paste, and cut while I'm trying to do all this. Any earlier with that picture, I could have put it on live. They're very good. I buy the best, Starlene. I buy the best. I buy the best. Alrighty, I'll take the number off. Again, I want to thank. Oh. Hello, you're talking to John. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Neil's Playground Justice.
Hello, Neil. How you doing, my main man?
I'm good. How about you tonight?
Hanging in
Good
there.
show. Thank you.
Hanging in there. A little sad that the season's over, but we got to move on,
Yes.
and that's all we can do, Neil.
Yep. No, I'm ready for next year, and I have no doubt that they're going to be coming in for another season, and probably another 2 at least. So I think we'll be listening to you for a couple more years.
But Neil, the only thing that gets me scared, all right, is it's not that they're not going to be on. It's like when they have contract negotiations.
Right.
Between history, between the Laginas, and all that money stuff that happens. That's the only thing that sort of worries me, because these guys will do the same thing privately. They don't even need the show, to tell you the truth. I just lost Neil. I just lost him. See if he'll call back. You're welcome, Curtis. Yeah, Gwen, we'll be on Saturday nights mostly. Saturday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be here. Maybe take some off, but mostly be here. But we lost Neil. We'll give him a minute. I don't know if storms are down south or what's going on. But a lot of people with phones, I don't know what their situation is, and we get cut off. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. Yep, Pam, bring your favorite drink Saturday to toast the end of the season 8. Yep. Here we go. Hello, Neil's back.
Sorry, I must have bad connection. We're about ready to have a bad rainstorm here. So
yeah, I was just telling him probably a storm, because that's the only ways we get cut off. So what do you got to say, Neil?
I was just thinking if an organized and funded secret group spent years and decades and maybe even centuries using Oak Island as a depository.
Yep.
And if the treasure is still there, or at least some of it, wouldn't it be plausible to think that descendants of that secret group would still be actively monitoring Oak Island right now?
Sure would. It sure would. Stuff like that with the Templars and the Masons and the Freemasons, that's all they do is pass it down to the next generation. You know what I mean, Neil?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Why go through all this work if you're not going to make sure that somebody knows?
Right. So it's like, okay, somebody has to know something down the line. Obviously, they can't say anything because that's their brotherhood and that's their pledge. But
Right.
It's just unbelievable when Dr. Spooner is finding this high concentration of silver in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, don't get me wrong, that could be sort of natural. But then when he says It's as big as this war room. That's how much silver can fill up this war room where their table was. That's the signature he's getting off his instrument. And I'm going, what the heck does that mean? You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. It's I'm probably the skeptic in I want to believe that there's something there, but the skeptic in me always wants to hesitate and think that maybe it's some naturally occurring thing there. I'm wondering if maybe that island over centuries has been a place to mine for some reason. If there were tunnels already started for mining like that, then maybe yeah, and if the Masons were had trade way back when, and so knew about this place, then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already kind of halfway started for you.
Yeah, like out west or whatever they are, people used to store things in the old salt mines.
Right.
So they would store them in there because why? You already got the caverns. You already got everything else. Just put a big secure door somewhere in there. It's already dug out for you. And if you watch and read the professor, I call him, Daniel Spino,
Mm-hmm.
if you read his post on my Quest of Oak Island group page, he's all on this. It could have been a mining operation. It looks like that's where it's pointing to. And in the beginning of the show, did you see the picture I had up about the Walden?
Yes.
Doesn't that look so familiar?
Yeah. It looks like it could be straight from depositor era, which
Yep.
I'm starting to think was a lot longer than just like one or two, works on there. It seems to me now that this thing had continuous usage.
Right. Until it stopped, it was just a continuous wheel of something secret. Because if this was not secret, we wouldn't find one of this and two of this and three of this. We would be finding, even though people ahead of us probably found things and now they're in their own museum, or not their own museum, but in their own private collection, they would just stick it in their pocket or stick it in their old truck and take it home if they found something on the old island. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then Daniel Spino says, the guardians of the secret are the people that know and it has been passed down to them that we'll never know, but that's obviously what they do. What do you think, Neil?
I think that's right. And I think that they never did anything haphazardly. So when I always think about I don't know what the Native American tribe was that was in that area that had, they showed what their flag was and that it was very similar to one of I'm forgetting the guy's name, but the 15th century.
Sinclair, and it's the Micmacs.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that it wasn't just by chance that Sinclair ended up in that exact spot. I think that was already a known area to at least a few people.
Right.
And
I would love.
So even that kind of stuff, I don't think there's any coincidences in what they were doing.
I would love for them to give us more background. My friend Jeffrey Irving touched on some of them, okay, because they gave things to the Micmacs that all of a sudden, why did they do this treaty so fast with the Micmac up there in Nova Scotia? That's why I like Jeffrey Irving. He has what did the Indians know? I mean, they were there before the Templars. They were there forever. What did they know? What did they pass on? So I always ask them, well, don't they have something that they have from Oak Island that they cherish or something, like in the Indian reservation or something? We never hear enough of the original Indians that were actually up there about Oak Island. Yeah. You know what I mean, Neil? The Micmac. I do. Micmac. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. I'm sure that they would love to share their story. So I hope that maybe that's something they can incorporate in next year too. If they had all this extra time this year, the research part, maybe that whole side of this will be stepped up.
Right, like the Micmac said, the gold was a brown silver or brown rock or something. They didn't call it gold; they called it brown silver.
Yeah.
And what would they care about it? That had no value to them at all. I mean, you get a not a bear skin, but clothing and food and stuff like that. They could care less about silver and gold. I mean, they make weapons to kill animals, to eat, and so forth. You know what I mean? And food to survive. They could care less about gold coins and everything else.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I think that it was, as far as the angle of commerce in that area, probably is where it all started, though, and then it just turned into a good opportunity to be potentially a depository, if that's what it is.
Then we got Robin Shirley here, Neil. I mean, we got a
Okay.
lot of people in my group, but I don't know who's who and what's what. You know what I mean? And Robin Shirley says, "We Indians do not want to share."
I get that.
Yep, it's like, oh my lordy. But
nope, I don't blame them. But yeah, so is you said that periodically through the summer you're going to have your podcast here?
Yeah, 90% of the time I'll be on Saturday night, maybe a couple of times at 8:00, not 7:00. It all depends. Like I have an open invitation to all the people on the cast, but now if they start season 9, this is their busy time. You know what I mean?
I do.
So if I didn't get them on before this, that would have been it. You know what I mean? But I never know. That's all they have to do is PM me, John, I'll come on Saturday. Okay, fine. Boom, we're on. So, if that happens, then mostly we'll be on every Saturday. But during the summer, I mean, who wants to watch me at 7:00 on a Saturday night if, COVID's down and people want to do things? They don't want to watch me 7:00 on a Saturday. So I might want to put it on, maybe make a couple of shows at like 8 p.m., about an hour earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will post that all on my Facebook page and YouTube channel because a lot of people depend on me. And I'm not going to let any of you guys down. So, I'll be on, I'd say 90% of the time during the summer. But then we got to have things to talk about because we don't want to be repetitive and keep on talking about the same thing over and over and over. So,
sure.
And that's why some of my shows in the summer are short and sweet, maybe an hour or so, but it's short and sweet. And then I also have a trivia game going that if you get so many points, you can win a free Quest of Oak Island membership mug. It's just questions of like, I should have known that or something like that. If you get it correct, I make one question 20 points, one question 100 points. After we talk about Oak Island, I cut it off.
Uh-huh.
And then we get into a little trivia to get points so you guys can get a membership mug from me. So it's sort of like a little contest. I mean, it's not much. It's just my coffee mug, but people just like to participate. People just like to do things something different. But on Saturday night in the summer, I don't know, Last summer we made it. Last summer we made it through with no problem. But I won't be on Tuesday nights, obviously, no pre-show.
Sure.
Or if something comes up, sometimes I'll do a Friday morning show for the UK members and the people 6 or 8 hours ahead of us, so they're not starting at 3:00 in the morning.
I see. That's nice. That's it seems like you have a pretty good following. I don't do Facebook anymore, so I miss that side of it. But I follow you on YouTube, and
right. I'll post the same thing on YouTube, and on my YouTube channel, I got a paid site that I put everything I know firsthand in the community tab. If you join the paid site, and discounts for my T-shirts, it all depends what level you pick. So everything I put on there, the synopsis goes on there. All preview photos go on there. You have premium chat with me in the social media. You go right to the top of my list. Because sometimes this week I was getting a message every 90 seconds. I don't answer.
Wow.
I don't answer all of them. I answer the people that are primary with me. Obviously, the guys that pay their 75 cents a week or something. Everybody is on the top of my list there. And then when I get to the rest, I answer every one of them. We go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good setup.
Yeah. So anything I do on my Facebook group, because we got 71,600 members there, I will put on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
do you get that kind of numbers on YouTube side also?
No, not close.
Huh.
Not close.
Okay.
Because,
Well,
on YouTube, you can share it. On my Facebook, it's a private group, so you can't share anything on Facebook. So that's why I made a YouTube channel. So like this video, if you wanted to show it to your sister or your brother, you can share it to them and send it on their phone or whatever. On my Facebook group with the 71,500 people, it's only for them. It's only, that's where I started from. It was just me and them. But like you could do an interview with Aaron Helton. Well, nobody would see it but me and her and my members, because we're members. But the world wanted to see the interviews and the guest appearances. And the only way they can share that and see it and show it to their friends is for me to put it on YouTube. And that's how I ended up on YouTube.
I see. Yeah, I always try to tweet out when you first go live, just so that anybody, that sees it there might pick it up and want to see it too. So
well, you hit the subscribe button, right? Don't you get a notification?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Twitter. Yep. I'm not really big on Twitter, even though I got a Twitter account there. I hardly go on it. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, I just shared it on there so people that follow me would, see that your show is on. And
okay, great.
If you want to take a look at it.
What else you got? Yep. What else you got?
That's it. Mainly all my observations, really, for the last episode of the season was just kind of like how characters kind of developed on the show. I'm a TV person too, so
what do you mean?
I kind of like to see how people have grown or get more camera time, or like how their characters change up a little bit. And
you're involved. You're involved in TV.
Well, just watching TV.
Oh, like me, yeah. You're just like me. I hear you.
So. I like that they've added some more characters. That they've added more people to the show, like the archaeologists. I think that's a good aspect to it, and just expand out a little bit so it isn't just the original 4 or 5 people every week. So
yep, but they gave Gary a lot of FaceTime, and now they're giving Steve a lot of FaceTime. They know which characters are more sociably, how do I put it, sociably accepted. Some people don't come across that great over TV, so they'll go to Steve. So I see Steve Guptill on more than really Gary now. I see Steve Guptill taking over, not taking over, what do I want to call it? Like a main character.
Just getting more FaceTime though.
And Steve Guptill is the nicest guy you can ever meet. Not along with Rick.
Is he the one that's always checking the core samples and with the trowel?
No, that's
okay. I'm getting
that's
confused.
Matheson. This is the surveyor. Gary Guptill is the surveyor.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay. Yes.
He's always in the war room with the computer and putting things up on the monitor. He's always surveying, and he's the best guy. I mean, except for Rick, they're all good guys, but I deal directly myself with Steve, and anytime you ask him or do something or whatever, he's right there. Just unbelievable. He's the best. Tony Sampson, he's the same, but he has a business to run. So with the COVID, the COVID's hurting him. And when people start to go up there, when they open up the borders, please see Tony Sampson, the Salty Dog Tours. It's $60 a person. I think that's Canadian. I don't know what that is, US. I don't know. And they'll take you around the island and everything else on his boats up there. Because COVID last year and COVID this year, how the heck are you going to go up there with the borders closed and everything like that? You know what I mean, Neil?
Right. Yep. I do. Yeah, do you have a favorite person to see on the show that you're always glad shows up?
Not really. I
always get a kick out of watching Billy.
Yeah, some guy gave me a post, right? He says, it's 20 degrees out there. It's windy. He's in his t-shirt and shorts. I said to the member, I says, I have guys here that I know. I'm in the Northeast. That they wear the same thing, a t-shirt, maybe a jacket if it gets cold. They got their short pants on and always work boots. That's in the dead of winter.
Right. I think it's hilarious that they every time they show them, they have to refer to them as heavy equipment operator.
Yeah.
And it's usually always like in conjunction with like a really bad camera angle of him sitting up there in the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't want to tease him, but I think he's the one that I always like to see on the show.
Yep. And like I'm saying, this COVID is really turning things crazy up there. We got to give them some support up there in Nova Scotia. And like I'm saying, to see the island, the only way is not the tour anymore. The tours are shut down. Is you go on Tony's boat tours, you go online, you make a reservation, and make sure you tell him I sent you. So he'll just get a chuckle out of it, or maybe he'll throw you off the boat. I don't know, one or the other. So, oh no, not a John Quest person again. Get the heck out of here. Go back to the United States. I mean, probably my friends will try to bring a bottle of wine or a bottle of vodka on the boat because a lot of my friends like to drink. So I don't know what's going on with that, but
it looks like some of the guys on the show do too. So at least Dan did.
Yep. They always go to the what's it called? The pub there that, oh God, I can't remember. They go to the pub and have a couple of pints, and I like it. I like the whole situation. I don't know if I'll ever get up there, but it's just a fun situation. You sort of, like me in my position here, you sort of are friends with these guys, even though you never have met them, but through the internet, through my group, through speaking to them, I feel like I know them like they're my next door neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. You remember way back when they were on one of the, I think they were, was it still, was it Letterman or Colbert or like in the first, when they were on one of those late night shows, and they looked super young.
Right, but I didn't like Colbert. Colbert was mean.
He was.
I think Colbert didn't do it justice to my main guys. I didn't like that. I mean, if you remember the episode, the interview, oh, you're a treasure hunter, blah, blah, blah. No, that really would turn me off. And I don't think I've seen yet those guys giving another interview after that. And I don't blame them. They don't need that. You know what I mean?
It was, they didn't, he wouldn't even take it serious for a second. I didn't like that part of it at all either.
Right.
But, most of the people that I talk to, whenever I bring up Oak Island, I kind of get that same vibe from them too. But I just, I don't care. I think it's funny.
Right.
They think it's funny.
Right. I just don't pay no attention. Tony Sampson says we have some good beach parties and always end up at the Mug and Anchor. Always a place for you on the boat, mate. The Mug and Anchor, that's the place. The Mug and Anchor, that's it.
Mug and Anchor.
I told Tony, Neil, if I ever get up there, I want him to rent a Viking ship. Not a houseboat that like he has. I want to be in a Viking ship with the sails. I want to be dressed up as a Templar. I want the whole 9 yards. I want him to go out 35 miles. And we're gonna take the wind and take the oars into the Oak Island, even though I can't row because I got a bad back. I says, when you get a Viking ship, a Templar ship, I'm in.
Yeah. That would be classic. They should start the show next year with that.
Yeah. Pam Block says those TV shows always try to insult or indulge you. Don't you think, Pam, when you saw, I never brought this up, I don't know why, but when Colbert did that interview on my main guys, I was hot. I thought that wasn't fair at all.
Yep. No, I agree. I felt like I had to apologize afterwards or something like that. It was, and I like Colbert's show, but that did irritate me badly. So, yeah, some people just aren't willing to listen for a minute. They can't be entertained over an 8-year period.
And Daniel Spino says, that's my professor. You got to read his post. They're not on YouTube, right? You can't see Daniel's post on YouTube, right?
I have it in the other room because I didn't want the feedback on the phone.
No, but I'm saying Daniel Spino, he's my professor, and his posts are unbelievable on Facebook. I
don't get to see Facebook. Yeah.
Right. I got to try to get his post. That's what I've been looking at. And I got to talk to Daniel to get his posts on YouTube for the world to see. His posts just see my members, my members and me and him see them. So his posts are so fantastic that I've been trying to see if I can copy his post and stick it on YouTube. But on the YouTube side, if you join, I can put it on the community tab. There's a community tab in YouTube that I can put it to. I got like soldiers, captains, commanders, and grand marshals.
Okay.
They see only what I post to the certain groups, in the paid channel. I wanted to start putting his post in the community channel, not for the world to see, but for the people that are serious, for the people that want to be educated in that realm. You know what I mean, Neil?
I do.
I mean, I can hit the button and say public, but why should I give the public all this hard information that he does? I don't think it's that way right now. So that's what I was trying to get through at the end, but then I got to get it off of Facebook. I got to copy and paste it. I got to put it in the community tab of YouTube. And then when you're in YouTube, you got to go to that tab, and that's where I put the, prior pictures before I put them public. I do everything first there before 4 or 5 days after I do it on Facebook. So that's an idea I've been working with. I don't know if you'd be interested in something like that. I'm not sure.
I'll definitely look at it and see what it's about. I mean, gauging my interest in the show, I could tell you it's high. So maybe it will be something I want to do.
Yeah, Daniel says, if you can do it, he's good with it. But see, when Daniel gets done with all this information he's pounded into my head and the members, he's going to come on live with me, because you know how many people saw his post last month? He did a bunch of posts. So when you do the post and read it, I get a number. He did 165,000 views.
Wow.
People reading a post and reading the next post or reading the same post again. 165,000.
Wow.
That's
that's impressive.
That's almost double my member account. And Daniel says he's planning for an 8-hour show. Oh my God! I better bring a case of beer and a bottle of Woodford. Oh my lordy. My group knows, and I call Daniel Spino. He's a historian master, and I just call him the professor, because if you saw what I saw and read what I read, you'll know what I mean, Neil. You'll know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a great. I could see why it's an easy thing to get drawn into, because it's certainly interesting.
Oh, it's Tony Sampson. I must go away now. Thanks, mate. I hope you see you up there later this year. Thank you, Tony Sampson, for coming in. You're always welcome here. Thank you, Tony. But that's what I'm trying to do. So, but I'm saying it's only for the paid members right now. Of course, when I get him on live, then he'll be make him famous, like I made Judy famous, because he'll be on YouTube with me. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, I fully appreciate your show. It's you joke about who's going to watch it on a Saturday night in the summertime. Well, I am.
Well, I thank you. I thank you so much. I thank you to members. You don't realize how many people you touch when you do these things. I had no idea, that people wait for me. People wait for my show. A lot of people that are just by themselves, that I touch their lives so many ways. Neil, I had no idea I would have this kind of effect on me just hitting the live button and just blabbering away. I had no idea at all. I love all you guys. I mean, there's some, the wackos and all that. You got to delete them, and the people that want to use your platform for just selling things, they're good to you until you tell them no. This platform's not to sell your rocking chairs and sell this and sell that. No, I'm not that way. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, no, and your shows seem to get better each week too. When you say that you mumble and get through stuff. I think that it's quite good. I think that you're too hard on yourself.
I really don't set nothing up. This is all just me. I'm just talking. I got some notes, and Judy, I owe her a lot. She does the synopsis that's all typed out. But after she says the synopsis, I just go through my screenshots and we just discuss what we see. You know what I mean? There's no notes on that stuff or anything.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it because I like rehashing what I got to, watch, as it was live, and it helps me break it down a little bit in my head and like put aside what's important info and et cetera.
Yeah.
So,
but Neil, now that this is your second call,
I do.
You know what that you know what that means?
What's that?
You got to call now. Now, if you don't call, I got people that know people. You call twice, you can call 20 times. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I'll make sure that I always got something good to say if I do.
All right.
So.
Thank you so much, Neil. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for
Thank
calling.
you, John.
It's great talking to you
summer.
all the time. Have a great summer. And if you got a mom or whatever, wish her a happy Mother's Day for tomorrow. I wish all my moms in my membership having a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Thank you so much, Neil. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Oh, my lordy, 40. Neil on the phone. And Kathy, we like your blabbling. Yeah. I try. Let me take the phone off here. All right, guys. We're going to call it. Again, thank you for season 8. Thank you for being with my group. Thank you for being on my YouTube group. Keep it going. Anything new, I'll be posting all the time. I'll post all kinds of updates on the Quest channel. And remember, what do I say, guys? I don't know where I got this from. Maybe I got it from them. I'm not sure. Always go forward. You may get a setback in your life, but you go forward no matter what. You believe in your dreams. No matter how old you are, you just go for that dream. Just go for it. You stay positive. You bring that positive vibe. Like I said today, when I was taking a shower, I'm going, oh, I'm by myself here. What the heck am I doing? Putting the gel in my hair. You know why I do all this? For you guys. You guys give me the energy to do this. You guys. You can believe me or not. You guys give me this positive energy that flows through my soul to do this. It's unbelievable. You stay positive. You stay mentally strong if you can in this crazy time. If you can't be mentally positive and you have some problems, please seek help. There's help out there. Please get it. Stay positive. Stay safe with this COVID craziness. And good night. We'll probably see you this next coming Saturday. I won't be on the pre-show this Tuesday. That's over with until the season starts. Hopefully we get a season 9. I thank you for everything that you guys do for me, and I hope I do for you. I love all you guys. You guys are the group. I'm not the group. You guys are the group. You make it tick. You give it life. Without you guys, we have no group. That's why I love the interaction between me and you guys. I just can't tell you that enough because it means a lot to me. Have a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm going to my mom's house. She's 92 years old with my dad. They're still going strong, still living home. And I appreciate them every time. Every minute I'm with them, every minute I'm talking to them on the telephone, they're just the best. I thank you and good night.